And welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Put on Raiders podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle, so check me out there. Ryan Holmes is on assignment doing this thing. So we're talking about the Raiders here and the upcoming season. And I just want to digress a little bit to the Bay Area real quick. And I think there is of the West Coast cities, no area reminds you of like the kind of the energy and the kind of hustle and bustle of like New York, like the Bay Area. And I just had a friend of mine. I had a couple of friends, but one friend who's a Raider fan, and he talked up to me about he went to the Giants Oracle Park for the first time, and the Giants are playing well. They were playing the Red Sox. We know about the whole Devers trade and everything like that. And he was just like, this is the energy that the Giants, I mean, excuse me, the Raiders need. And it's too bad that stadium couldn't have been built in Oakland or built in California because they just don't have that in Las Vegas. Now, if they win, I mean we've seen when they've won that they have had some of that energy, right? You've seen the win and you're in game against the Chargers where they beat the Chargers, and the Chargers stupidly could have just you know took the tie and made the playoffs, but that's either here nor there. But not having that energy of the crowd, not having that energy of um the hometown Bay Area um you know folks is a different kind of feeling. And I get it. You can't walk up to the to the stadium and get tickets for like $40 anymore. Like I get it. I 100% get it. We all know that. I didn't live in the Bay Area ever, but I've heard about the stories about Oakland and how, you know, even when they were bad, they found a way to, um, you know, to get the energy and to get energy in that stadium, and it was a ruthless place to play. And I think when you look at the Aces, when you look at the Golden Knights, the teams that are like kind of born and bred in Las Vegas, they draw well. They draw well. And I don't know if the Raiders have to win games there. I think the Raiders have shown that if they win, the Raider fans who are season ticket holders won't sell their tickets. But you can't fault somebody for selling their tickets if if they got 3 wins and 11 games go by. So, but that energy, that hometown, I kind of feel like Vegas could take it or leave it for the Raiders, where Oakland, that was your identity. That was your identity. And the energy that the Golden State Warriors have, the Niners have, the San Francisco Giants have, it's obvious. It was for him, it was his first time at Oracle. He'd been to games in Oakland, been to games in Vegas, and my friend was just like pretty. He's like, that energy is not there because we moved to a new market, and hopefully one day the Raiders will actually draft a quarterback and and take care of business and actually be a consistent winning team where people can you know go to games instead of selling their tickets, go to games instead of having to I always watch the playoffs and not be a participant in the playoffs, if you will. All right, your questions here on the Put on Raiders podcast. Yeah, people are asking about Jacoby Myers, what kind of season I think he's going to have. I think he's going to have. I mean, he's probably the number one wide receiver on the team. He's a all do everything kind of guy. He knows how to sit in the zone when it's time to sit in the zone. And he knows when to remain in motion to be a crosser on plays as well. So on pass plays as well. He's a good run. He's a good run blocker. I think he along with Jack Besh are going to be really good at that as far as that goes. I'm excited to see what he does this year. He's a guy who's just the consummate professional wide receiver. And you're gonna see him make some nice plays in this offense. The Raiders do have the makings of if they can block it, because that's all that matters. If they can't block it, it doesn't matter. They do have the makings of a offense that is going to look much better than what we've seen in the past. The Raiders are. I mean, I'm kind of like a little bullish on their offense. Even though I'm not in love with the quarterback who everybody's putting in their top 10 right now. Like, I mean, Geno Smith is in everybody's top 10 and everybody's excited about Geno Smith. I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm like incredible, incredibly excited about Geno Smith. I think he's better than what we have had in the past, and I think that one thing is I just don't want to see Aiden O'Connell on the field ever again for the Raiders. I think they could have made some steps to make that happen, but that's neither here nor there. And you're hearing, and the next question is asking about the running back room. Obviously, the running back room is greatly improved with Genti and Raheem Mostert. I would have again. I like Mostert. I think the Raiders needed to get a veteran presence there who has played. The thing about Mostert that I do like the most is that you don't have to give him a bunch of carries. He can take the ball and go 0 to 100 on just a screen pass or just one play. His yards per carry is always very high. And I think that will continue here in this offense. I do like that move. I would have preferred them to draft two running backs because yeah, you don't want to run Jetty into the ground. Jetty will get plenty of carries though, and also get plenty of opportunities in the passing game because you see in OTAs they were just passing the ball to him a lot. They didn't use him that way in at Boise. So this gives them another opportunity to do that for the Raiders. I think Michael Mayer is going to be a guy who I feel like can do some really cool things in this offense. Um, you have Brock Bowers who's just going to take a lot of coverage. The league knows Brock Bowers, and the league still couldn't stop Brock Bowers. He was the only when you're the only weapon. That's what makes you a one of one. When you are the only big time weapon on the team, and you're still getting your numbers. I mean, that just says a whole lot about him as a tight end, and he's going to help this offense a great deal. I mean, and if Michael Merrick gets the scraps, that's all good. I mean, it doesn't really, it really doesn't matter if he gets those scraps. That's all you can ask for. Those scraps can end up being big plays and big first downs for the Raiders. Yes. So I guess another Raider podcast. I think it's Mitchell Rentz's podcast. He said that the injury, there's another injury for Christian Wilkins, and he's going to be out for the entire year. So, and this is no disrespect to his reporting. He's really doubling down on it. So he seems very confident in his report and his source. So I mean, obviously Raider fans hope he's wrong, but if he's right, then that's a big injury for the Raiders. There's no question about it. That's a huge injury for the Raiders if that is true. Um, but I kind of again no disrespect, but I just have to wait for the Tom Pelisseros or somebody like that to kind of come out and report on that injury. But it's a move that everybody liked. I mean, Christian Wilkins has not missed a lot of games in his whole career, and he comes to the Raiders and he's missing game after game after game. We'll have to see if that takes place or not. So I kind of wait for a bigger reporter as far as a bigger report as far as that goes. Um, How Mao, you know, I'm reading these questions and just kind of running them off I got a different screen going up here as far as that goes, and these are from the text line, so I'll keep the text line on the bottom, so you guys can text the show, and you also can DM questions as well. Um, I like Palmel the way they tried to use him. I think that I think there was a couple games where they used him as a blitzer in against Herbert, and then we didn't see those blitzes again. But I do think that you got to pay some respect um, to um, to our previous safety. I forgot his name off the top of my head now. I thought he was really good. And he didn't come up with the picks or interceptions, but he also, the Raiders weren't getting beat over the top every 5 seconds. You got to give him credit. Yeah, you got to give him credit for that. Um, I don't necessarily know that. People say, "Oh, we didn't want to pay somebody. We didn't want to pay anybody. We didn't want to pay this guy, pay that guy, big time money." But it's not my money. And if Trayvon Morrig was, if Trayvon Morrig was, there is no world where he's not better than Palma. We we really don't know what Palma is as an every down safety. We don't know what Isaiah Palma is. Hope he's good, fight on, but I just don't know how good he's gonna be. And that's a huge question mark. I mean, I think we know what we can expect from Jeremy Chin. He's very versatile, can make plays, all those things like that. But I would say I'd be a little bit worried about him playing every day because part of playing every day is being available every week. And you have to show not only that you can make the plays on the field, but you have to be able to show the ability to make plays and also be available every week and stay healthy. And I don't know if he can do that. I mean, he was a part-time player in his career, but now he's gonna be a full-time guy. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Darian Porter. Darian Porter is they're going to I think he's gonna end up starting um uh, at corner this year because I think that they want him to start really badly. And if he shows any inkling of really quality play, um for sure he's gonna start. I mean, just for sure he's gonna start. And I think they got Jahorian Bennett on one side, him on the other. Like you're asking, I mean, these are very inexperienced, and some of these guys are just injury riddled corners who you're asking to make big jumps and make big impacts on this team. You're asking a lot, I think, from the secondary, and I think that they're going to mix coverages. They're going to do all the different things that you talk about. Maybe you get lucky and John Humphrey, and then and Greedy Vance as well. One of those guys kind of step up and do something special. Hopefully, Greedy Vance can. I know he's a really good slot corner from SC. That would help out a lot because I don't know if I trust Darnay Holmes and people like that to hold it down for the Raiders in the secondary. Let's see what else we got here. Couple more questions before we head out. Let's see here. Offensive line. I listen, it's gonna take a lot to I think when you have a relationship with somebody, I think that's why the Alice Kappa signing is kind of tough. He has a relationship with the GM. So from the days in Tampa, so I would have to think that he's gonna start. And then we'll take it from there. If he's god awful and he can't, and Coach Carroll, who Brendan Carroll, is says he's not the best guy. I don't think they're gonna force it. I don't think they're gonna force him in there, and if he's not the best guy, but I think he's gonna get the benefit of the doubt being a veteran presence in there, and I can see him starting at right guard for the Raiders, and we'll take it and we'll see what happens how it goes. I mean, he was a really bad player last year, so we'll see if he's a good player this year. I mean, the Raiders did draft a couple versatile offensive linemen, and they have some pieces that they can kind of they signed Jordan Meredith, who did play well at times last year. So another guy who they can sign, and if anything goes wrong on the offensive line, they can kind of plug him right in and get rid of Kappa. Um, Gino, question is about Gino and like what kind of season I think Gino can have a. I think Gino's gonna have a good season. I think he's gonna. I just don't know. I just my thing that I don't like about all the crazy praise about Gino is you look at the Raiders offense, okay, and look at the Seattle offense. Now they couldn't really block it great up there in Seattle, but they blocked it well enough to have two really good running backs. There was Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet have both have had pretty good careers, especially Kenneth Walker. And then in Jigba, you have you had DK Metcalf, people like that. You have a lot of talented pieces there. I never felt like they were a top offense. They were a decent offense, but I never felt like they were a top offense. So if he comes here and learns this offense and the Raiders become a top offense, then I could see it. But I just can't. I just don't know. I just don't know how good Gino is, and I think that's the biggest question. I think Gino is showing you what at his top level can be. But this is a if you have a competent quarterback, you have a really good quarterback with the play caller and Chip Kelly. I think this offense should be an offense that scores. I mean, that should be within the top 10 of the National Football League. They don't have. I mean, they if you believe the hype on Thornton, on Dante Thornton, then yeah. But you also have a guy like Trey Tucker. So if one of those deep threats turns out to be a decent NFL player, then you're good there. And then Jack Besh and Jacoby Myers will just move the chains along with Brock Bowers. So and then the play action fake stuff should be available because you're gonna run there a whole lot because you took a running back in the top 10. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right. Just want to get on here, talk a little Raiders. We will be back. I think I'll hit you guys up with another show this week. See you next time, and don't forget to watch the Signal Caller for Giants fans. Put on Giants podcast. What else we got on this number? We got another show coming out in August 1st, so check out for that one. But yeah, we definitely appreciate all the support and obviously and also the Trojan fans. The Trojans continue their march to having one of the best uh recruiting classes that they ever had. Right now, I think 2026 is still number one, and they just added two more pieces to it. So fun times all the way around on the channel. See you next time. Peace. Go Raiders.